Hello student, I am your physics mentor Nitesh Kumar and you are watching Drona Academy e-learning series. Today I am going to start 11th class first lecture. Okay student, one most important thing student, the first 10 lecture is actually basic concept required for learning physics. Okay, according to me the actual physics is starting from kinematics chapter. So before kinematics, whatever I am going to teach you, that's the basic concepts. With respect to NCERT book, you can say the first unit is the basic concepts. There we having a physical world, unit and dimensions, and unit and measurement. These things are basics. I will also discuss here in this basic part vector and few concepts of calculus. Okay, because that's the most important part. Okay, without vector you can't understand physics effectively, because the 60% syllabus of 11th class is based on vector concept, and in 12th class 50% whole electrodynamics parts is based on vector concept. There will use the vector concept. Okay, that's why the vector topic, a single topic, is most important topic. Okay student, so first 10 lecture is basics lecture, here physics. Okay, so before starting the first lecture I am going to discuss what is physics. I suppose you all know what is physics. It's a branch of science in which we observe, measure and describe our nature and natural phenomena. So very natural subject student. In this subject what we are doing, we are observing our nature. Okay, we having a beautiful nature. Okay, so what we are doing, we are observing, measuring and describing this nature using mathematics. Okay, so language of physics is what? Mathematics. Okay, not English, not Hindi, not Bodo, not Assamese, not Bengali, or not any other language. Here we'll use a one language, that's the mathematics. That's why student I am expecting from you people said you know the basic concepts of mathematics. If you don't know, please revise at least 9th 10th plus formulas. Okay, and the advanced thing whatever required for learning physics I will teach you, don't worry. Okay, so physics. So I am starting with the definition. Definition is what you can write also the physics. What is physics? If anybody is asking what is physics, what you can say? It's a branch of science in which we observe, measure and describe the nature and natural phenomena. Okay student, so in this subject actually we are dealing with quantity. What is this quantity? Like temperature, force, length, distance, these are what? Quantity. We are measuring that, is it or not? Okay, so this is the quantity. In physics we are dealing with the quantity and we are dividing this quantity in two parts: physical quantity and non-physical quantity. Okay student, so we are dividing quantity in two parts: physical quantity and non-physical quantity. Now what is physical quantity student? The quantity which are measurable, जिसको आप measure कर सकते हो, that quantity is called physical quantity. Okay, which quantities are measurable? Temperature, we can measure temperature using thermometer. Distance, meter scale, we can use, using that we can measure. Speed of car, speedometer, is it or not? So using different instrument you can measure these things, is it or not? That's the under physical quantity. The quantity which are measurable is called physical quantity. Okay, so in physics actually we are dealing with this physical quantity. What is non-physical quantity? The quantity which are vice versa of this, the quantity which are not measurable. Now student, tell me which quantities are not measurable. Try to understand. Which quantities are not measurable? किसको आप measure नहीं कर सकते हो? Now what you have to do, if I will ask in video, if I will ask this type of simple question, then what you have to do, you have to pause the video and you have to think which quantity are not measurable, किसको आप measure नहीं कर सकते हो in your real life, where you have to find the example in physics. Whatever whenever I will ask you the example, what you have to do, you have to find example around yourself, in your surrounding, in your environment. Okay student, now think, which quantity is non physical quantity, किसको आप measure नहीं कर सकते. Now student, tell me how much happy right now I am. This is our first lecture, so how much happy I am, you can't measure. How much emotional I am, you can't measure. So sadness, happiness, love, emotions, we can't measure these things. That's why in physics we are not dealing with the emotions. Okay, it means not our physics is emotionless. Okay, it's a very emotional subject. आप attach हो जाओगे, बहुत प्यार हो जाता है इस subject से. Okay, so this one is the non physical quantity which are not measurable. So we'll not talk about this, जिसको measure ही नहीं कर सकते हैं, because definition of physics is what we are going to measure here, describe, observe our nature, or quantity which are not measurable. It means that's the useless for us in physics. So we are not going to discuss about that non physical quantity. Now we'll discuss in detail about physical quantity. Physical quantity. We are dividing physical quantity in 4 parts today. We are dividing physical quantity. Right now I am not starting the physics, it's just the basic parts is going on. Okay, and till 10 lecture this basics, in 10 lecture I will cover the basic concepts. Okay, then only you can learn physics effectively. Okay, so now physical quantity, we are dividing physical quantity on the basis of direction and dependency. So based on direction, we are dividing physical quantity in 2 parts, scalar and vector. Okay student, and based on dependency, we are dividing physical quantity in also 2 parts, that's the fundamental and derived quantity. Okay student, so physical quantity, we are dividing physical quantity in 4 parts actually, based on direction, scalar quantity and vector quantity. Based on dependency, मतलब किस पे कौन dependent है, on the basis of that we are dividing physical quantity in 2 parts, fundamental quantity and derived quantity. So now I am going to discuss one by one. So first I am going to discuss scalar, then after we will discuss the vector quantity, then after fundamental, then after derived. Okay student. Okay, scalar. Scalar quantity student. What is scalar quantity? Now here student, this is the first lecture, that's why I am telling you few important things. First, like whenever you are learning the definition, first write and learn that from a good reference book. Okay, because in 90% Indian writers books the definition of scalar quantity is given, that's incorrect. Okay, so pick your word very carefully, very precisely. Okay student, so in general book everywhere what the definition of scalar quantity you will find the quantity which having only magnitude, that's fully incorrect student. This definitions here everywhere in every school, whenever I used to ask to students what is the definition of scalar quantity, I don't know from where they are learning these things, these incorrect things, because I know that teachers don't used to teach the incorrect things. Okay, so I don't know from where the students are learning that incorrect definitions, but they will tell like, generally I am getting the answer what is a scalar quantity. Students used to tell like the quantity which having only magnitude. I don't know from where they are getting that only word. Okay, that's the incorrect. Look at this. In 10th class I am starting with the example so you can learn these things in proper way. From 10th class we know that if it is a battery having a resistance, current will flow from positive terminal to negative terminal. It means current having a specific direction as well as magnitude. But according to our NCERT book, current is a scalar quantity. And what definitions we are learning in general book? The quantity which having only magnitude. This quantity having direction but it's a scalar quantity. तो कुछ बच्चे बोल देते हैं this is the exception. ऐसा कुछ एक्सेप्शंस होता नहीं है. ओके, वी हैव टू डिवाइड ऑल फिजिकल क्वांटिटी इन टू कैटेगरी, आइदर इट्स अ स्केलर और आइदर इट्स अ वेक्टर. ये बीच का फाइंड करना ही नहीं है अकॉर्डिंग टू आवर एनसीईआरटी बुक. अब क्या है कि ज़्यादा दिमाग नहीं लगाना. यस सर मैंने टेंसर क्वांटिटी पढ़ा है, डिफरेंट चीज़ें पढ़ रखा है. नहीं, वट एवर गिवन इन आवर एनसीईआरटी बुक, बिकॉज यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द IIT JEE, फॉर नीट, okay, and these exams for the CBSE board exam, so these exams given a reference book is NCERT. Okay, so what is the correct definition of scalar quantity, student? The physical quantity which is fully satisfied by their magnitude. Don't need to talk about the direction. What you will write? The physical quantity which is fully satisfied by their magnitude is called scalar quantity. What are the example of scalar quantity? Distance, speed, temperature. I am writing here example. Temperature, speed, distance, length. Okay, student? So many examples. Okay, so these are the example of scalar quantity. Okay, because this quantity don't having a direction. We don't need to talk about that direction. Okay, these quantities are fully satisfied by their magnitude. It means it's a scalar quantity. Okay, students, so now you understand what is scalar quantity. Okay, now I am going to discuss the most important, or you can say this is the most important single topic of physics, जिसको आप अगर छोड़ देते हो, जिसको आप नहीं पढ़ते हो, तो आपको बहुत बड़ा लॉस हो जाएगा. बहुत कम टॉपिक है, वेरी फ्यू टॉपिक यू विल फाइंड इन फिजिक्स, लाइक वर्क पावर एनर्जी चैप्टर, दैट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर. आप वहाँ पे एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन पढ़ते हो, मोमेंटम कंजर्वेशन पढ़ोगे जब आप, ठीक है. सो इफ़ यू आर स्किपिंग द वर्क पावर एनर्जी चैप्टर्स, तो आपको 12th क्लास में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होगा. सिमिलरली दिस वेक्टर, this topic vector, if you will skip this topic vector, you can't even learn physics effectively. हमेशा परेशान होगे, ठीक है. So now I'm going to start the most single important topic of physics. और सबसे शुरू में ही मैं इसलिए पढ़ा रहा हूँ, जब भी जरूरत होगा मुझे वेक्टर का, I will tell you in first lecture, I told you that type of reference I will give you. Okay, so what is vector quantity? It's a very important, student. I am going to discuss vector. What is vector quantity? Now again very precise definition. Generally in book you will find the definition incorrect definition written there, the quantity having magnitude and direction. The current having magnitude and direction, but that's a scalar quantity. Then what is missing there? Vector algebra. The word vector algebra is missing there in definition. So the correct definition is what? The quantity, the physical quantity having magnitude, direction and following vector algebra law is called vector quantity. Here it is written, a vector has both magnitude and sense of direction and follows triangle's law of addition. It's okay. That's the vector algebra. That's the part of vector algebra. Okay, so better if you will write here and follows vector algebra. Just write vector algebra. That will be more correct. Okay, because if it is following the cross product, dot product, then also it's called a vector quantity. That have to follow the vector addition law. Okay, because this law is under vector algebra. Okay, so what the definition you will write? A physical quantity which having magnitude, direction and following vector law of algebra is called vector quantity. What are the example? Displacement, velocity, force, acceleration, momentum. These are the example of vector quantity. Okay student, suppose you all understand what is the definition, what is the meaning of vector quantity. Now we are denoting vector quantity. This is the notation or representation of vector. How you will represent a vector? This is the A, simple A. We are writing simple A is like this. Okay, and if you will put a arrow sign on that, it means A is a vector quantity. Like I am writing here the velocity. We are denoting velocity by V, and if you are putting here, because if just V is written, it means here it's a magnitude is written. It can be speed or it can be velocity. Now you can't say anything about this. But if it is written like this, try to understand. If it is written like this, it means this one is the velocity. Acceleration, we all know from 9th class we are denoting acceleration by a small a, and if you are putting a arrow sign, then it's a complete. It means this quantity having magnitude. This word is telling magnitude, and this one is telling it having a direction also. Okay student, now this is a mathematical representation. Now geometrical representation, how we are representing a vector quantity geometrically. Okay, using geometry, this one is a vector quantity. So using arrow we are representing a vector quantity, and the length of the tail of this arrow is the magnitude. And this head of this arrow is denoting the direction of vector. Here A is what? It's a vector quantity. Okay, and this is the notation. Okay, mathematically how we are representing the magnitude? We are representing magnitude by mod sign. This is the A vector, and if you will put a mod on that A vector, it means it's representing a magnitude of vector quantity. Or another way, just by a A. अगर आप सिर्फ A लिख दो, if you are just writing A, it means that's the magnitude of that A vector. Vector is what here? A with this arrow sign. This one and this one is denoting the magnitude. Direction, we are denoting direction with the cap. These are notation student. Okay, and I know that these things are new for you, but we will use these things very frequently in our physics. Okay, so if you will watch 2 times at least this video, you can understand. Okay, it's a very interesting student. Now here A with this cap, if you are putting a cap on this A, it means it's denoting the sense of direction. Okay student, so now we know that a vector quantity having magnitude and direction. It means if you want to write the direction, what you can write? A vector divided by mod of A. Okay student, so this is the way of representation, and this is called unit vector. In next slide we'll learn this is called unit vector. Okay student, now next one is unit vector. What is unit vector? In name it's written unit vector. It means the magnitude is here 1. It means this unit vector is representing what? Sense of direction. It's a very important student. Okay, like we having a vector. This is the A vector, and this vector having what? Magnitude and direction. But unit vector means their magnitude is 1. It means what? It having just a sense of direction. The vector quantity having magnitude and direction, and if magnitude is 1 and if you are multiplying 1 with the any quantity, you will get that quantity. So you are getting here just direction. Okay. So unit vector is what? It's a mathematical way to express the direction of vector, and it is defined by how we will define. Look at this. A. So unit vector, how you will define? A vector divided by mod of A vector. Here it is written. It's defined by the ratio of vector and its magnitude. Okay, student? Now you understand? Note down this. Position vector, student. Okay. Now I am going to discuss the position vector. What is position vector? Now look. I am assuming this one is the x-axis, standard coordinate system. This one is the y-axis, student. Okay. Now here I am assuming this one is the A point and this one is the B point. Okay. And I am writing here the coordinate of A point is xa comma ya, and coordinate of B point is xb comma yb, and this one, this vector, this arrow is a position vector of A, and how we write here? RA with this arrow sign. This one is the position vector of B, and how we are representing? Like this. This is the position vector of A, this one is the position vector of B. Okay. Now how you will write this position vector? That's a very important, student. Look at this. This one is the 0 comma 0. We all know this is the origin, and coordinate of origin is 0 comma 0. This one is the xa comma ya. This coordinate of B point is xb comma yb. And if you want to write this position vector RA, what you have to write? This one x coordinate minus this. It means xa minus 0 with I cap. Okay, student, what is this I cap? Okay, now I am explaining. In unit vector is what? It's a mathematical way to represent the sense of direction of vector. Okay, and in coordinate system, like here I am taking x-axis plus y-axis plus z-axis, 3D coordinate system. This one is the x, then this one is the minus x, this one is the minus z, and this one is the minus y. Okay, student, and we are representing the x direction with the I cap. It's just a notation. We taken a notation here, so we will represent the x direction with the I cap, y direction with the j cap, and z direction with k cap. Similarly, you can write for the minus z. Minus z means minus k cap, minus x means minus I cap, and minus y direction is minus j cap. This is the standard direction system. Till now we are following which direction system? North, south, east, west, is it or not? Now onwards in physics we are going to follow this direction system. It means if any object, if any particle is moving along x-axis, what you can say? It having a sense of direction along I cap. If it is moving vertically upward direction along y-axis, what you can say? It's moving towards plus j axis. Similarly, you can for the this z axis. Okay, student. Now here RA, position vector of A, we are writing. So xa minus 0 I cap, it is along the I axis, x axis, that's why, plus ya minus 0 j cap, something minus 0, something. So here what we can write? RA vector is xa I cap plus ya j cap. This is the way of writing of position vector. Okay, now how you will write this one? Directly I am writing here. The RB vector is what? X B. Similarly from here I cap plus YB j cap. Now student, if a vector is written here like this, what is the name of this vector? This vector you can write RBA, position vector of B with respect to A. Look at this, the tail is ending at this point, A point, and head is at B point. So this is the RBA vector, the very important student. And how you will read this? Position vector of B with respect to A. Try to understand. Position vector of B with respect to A. Okay student, and how we will write this? Position vector of B with respect to A means position vector of B minus position vector of A. And we having here position vector of A, position vector of B, we will put and we will get the answer. By the way, how I told you to write this one, similarly you can also write this RB. First I am writing using this concept, then after we will put the value, and here also you will get the this one. This is a way of writing of position vector of B with respect to A. Okay, position vector of B is what? XB I cap plus YB j cap minus XA I cap plus YA j cap. Try to understand student. What we can write? XB minus XA I cap plus YB minus YA j cap. This is the RBA vector. Okay student. So how to write any vector with respect to another vector? Or using this way. Okay student. So this is the position vector. So concept of position vector. Now using this concept also you can write. The way I written here also you can write this RB. Look at this. Here I am writing with the blue color. RBA vector. It means here this point minus this point. The x coordinate of B is XB minus XA. Is it or not? It's along the x-axis, xx along x-axis. That's why I'm writing here I cap plus YB minus YA along vertical axis, along y-axis. So we are writing here this. Now look at this. This one is similar to this one. Okay. So using any method you can write the position vector of one point with respect to another point. Okay, what you have to do? You have to just subtract their coordinates along x-axis, along y-axis, along z-axis. Now here I taken it for x and y, just x and y. Now you can simplify it for the 3D coordinate system also. Look at this, I am taking here for the 3D coordinate system. You can pause the video student and note down. Now here I am taking a 3D coordinate system. So this one is the x-axis, this one is the y-axis, and this one is the z-axis. It means this direction is I cap, again I am repeating, this direction is j cap and this direction is k cap. Now I am taking a general point here, and this point coordinate is x1 comma y1 comma z1. Okay, and if I am telling you write a position vector of this point r, what you can write? This one is the x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap. What I am doing? This one is 0 comma 0 comma 0. Here it's a 3D coordinate system. okay, and 3D coordinate system, it means there is a 3 coordinates 0 0 0 along x axis, y axis, z axis. It's the origin, it's the address of this origin, and this one is a general point I taken x1 comma y1 comma z1, okay, and I written here the position vector of this r1 position vector is x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap. Very simple, student, is it or not? What is the meaning of this, student? Look at this. If I am telling you this is the point, a point, it's a xa comma ya. First understand in 2D coordinate system, then only you can understand in 3D. Okay, so this one is the 2D coordinate system. What is the meaning of this ra position vector? It's a xa I cap plus ya j cap. Try to understand what is the meaning of this. The meaning of this, it means the position vector here, this one along x axis it's a xa, and along y axis this one is the ya. It means the effectiveness of this vector along x axis, effective, I am just writing magnitude here, so axis is xa, effectiveness of this position vector along y axis is ya. Similarly you can simplify for this 3D coordinate system. Is it or not? Okay, student. Now I am going to discuss the resolution of vector into components. Look at this. Here I am assuming this one is the x axis. Again I am first discussing for the 2D coordinate system, then after we will discuss it for the 3D. Okay, student. So now here I am assuming this one is the a vector. We are representing a vector with the arrow sign. This one is the x axis, this one is the plus y axis, and we know that we are representing x axis with the I cap and j cap with the y axis. Okay, now component of this vector means how much effective this vector along x axis. Now I am going to take here the component of this vector along our standard coordinate system. Okay, so here we having a 2D coordinate system. So effectiveness of this a vector along x axis, along y axis. Look at this. If I am applying a force on this duster, try to understand. Using this marker, if I am applying a force, now it start moving in upward direction. Try to look at this. If I am applying a force, it start moving in upward direction. Why it's moving in upward direction? This one, the force is a vector quantity. I am applying in this way. So this force having a one component in upward direction, in vertically upward direction, one is in inward direction of this board. Try to understand. I am applying a force here like this and it's moving. It means a component of force in vertically upward direction and a component of force in inward direction. Similarly, here we having a vector a, and this vector having a effectiveness along x axis or along y axis. I am writing here along x axis the effectiveness of this vector is ax, or along y axis the effectiveness of this vector is ay. Try to understand. Okay, now I am going to use the basic concept of trigonometry here for explaining this concept. Okay, what is that basic concept? We all know if this one is the right angle triangle and this angle is theta, it's a perpendicular, this one is the base and this one is the hypotenuse. If I am telling you sine theta, you all know it's a p by h. So if I am telling you what is the value of p, what you can write? H sine theta. Is it or not? Similarly, if I am asking you what is cos theta, what you can say? B by h. Suppose you all are expert in maths, this basic mathematics. Okay, so B equal to h cos theta. Now student, look at this here. In this triangle, it's also a right angle triangle. This one is the AY, this one is the AX, and this angle is theta. It means this A vector is making theta degree angle with the horizontal direction. Try to understand. This is the given vector A is making theta degree angle with the horizontal axis. Now you have to find the effectiveness of this vector along y-axis and effectiveness of this vector along x-axis. How you will find? Now look at this. This is like a triangle, this triangle. This is the AY, this one is the AX, and this is the A, and this angle is theta. From there, P is here AY. It means AY equal to what we can write? A cos theta. Look at this. Sorry, A sin theta. A sin theta. Look at this. So P is here AY and it's a sin theta. Now AX, what you can add? It's a cos theta. Look at this. And how you will write A? A is what? A is AX I cap plus A vector. If you want to write, what you can write? Effectiveness along the x-axis, along y-axis. So effectiveness along x-axis is AX. So what you can write? AX with I cap and AY with J cap. Try to understand. AX with I cap and AY with J cap. Or you can also write the A vector is A cos theta I cap plus A sin theta J cap. What I did here? Just put the value of AX and AY here. Okay student, this is the resolution and component of vector. This is for the 2D. First I explain you this for the 2D because in 2D it's easy to understand. Okay, now I am going to make it general for the 3D also. Okay student, note down this. Okay, one most important thing students, now what you will find, the lectures is going like I am teaching you the mathematics. Actually this is the part of mathematics. In 12th class maths sir will also teach you the vector. Okay, but in 11th class physics we need the concept of vector, that's why I am teaching you. This is in 12th class maths also. Okay, now here Cartesian component. Okay, so now here I am going to explain you the concept in 3D. I already explained you in 2D, now in 3D. Look at this diagram. This is the point here. This is the points and the coordinate of this point is AX, comma, AY, comma, AZ. Okay, now effectiveness of this vector along x-axis. Along x-axis is what? AX. Along y-axis, this one is the y-axis, it's a AY, here it's written, and this one is the AZ, that is written here along. Now A vector is what? AX plus AY plus AZ, or you can write AX I cap plus AY J cap plus AZ K cap. Now if you want to write down the magnitude, it means mod of this, what you can write? Root under A square plus AX square plus AY square plus AZ square. Simply. This is the way of writing of magnitude. Okay. If you want to write down the direction, how you can write the direction? A cap, and A cap will be what? AX I cap plus AY J cap plus AZ K cap divided by root under AX square plus AY square plus AZ square. From where I am writing this? We know the formula. A cap equal to A vector divided by mod of A. I explain you this when I explain the unit vector. Is it or not? So you can write down the direction of this also in 3D. Okay students? So very simple. Is it or not? Now equal vector, how you can say two vector, like I am taking here the A vector is equal to B vector. How you can say the A vector is equal to B vector? We know that vector is what? We are representing it with the arrow. So I am assuming it's a A vector and this one is the B vector. If both vector having same direction, vector having what? Direction, magnitude and following vector algebra law. It is given these two are vector, it means it's following the vector algebra law. Now what you have to equate? The magnitude. Magnitude is what? The length of tail and the length of tail, and direction also you have to equate. It means the vector having same magnitude and same direction is called equal vector. Is called equal vector. Now parallel vector, it means two vector having the same direction. Now there you don't need to comment on the magnitude. Magnitude may be same, may not be same, okay, but if having the same direction, that's called the equal vector. Look at this. This one is the A vector and this one is the C vector. These two are the parallel to each other because this both having the same direction. Try to understand. आज बहुत ज़्यादा करंट जा रहा है, आ रहा है, इसलिए बीच बीच में इन्वर्टर का साउंड आ रहा है. Okay student? So now you understand what is equal vector and what is parallel vector. I am again explaining you what is equal vector. If two vector having same magnitude and direction is called equal vector. What is parallel vector? If vectors having equals same sense of direction is called parallel vector. Okay student? Or if you want to note down the definition, you can pause the video and note down this. Now I am going to discuss the addition of two vector. There is a two law for addition of two vector. If you want to add the two vector A and B, if you want to add the two vector A and B, you can use the two law, triangles law and parallelogram laws. Okay, I am going to discuss this concept. Okay, so first look one by one. I need a blank page. Okay, here I am going to explain. Then you can understand properly. We having a two vector. I am assuming this one is the A vector and this one is the B vector. Actually मेरे साथ problem क्या है ना? Look at this. Everything is written here, but I am used to with the classical way of teaching. वो डस्टर, चौक, बोर्ड पे पढ़ाने से, है ना? So खुद से लिख के एक्सप्लेन करने में मजा आता है ना? तो और तुम लोग को भी मजा आता है समझने में. बहुत गर्मी है. Okay students. So now this one is the A vector and this one is the B vector. This is the last topic for today. Video बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा हो रहा है. This one is the A vector, this one is the B vector. If you want to add, it means C vector is here, A vector plus B vector. So what you have to do, you have to first join their tails. This one is the A vector, this one is the B vector. If you will join their tails, then you will get the two angles, this angle and this angle. You have to pick the small angle always. Whenever you will join the tails of the vectors, at that time you will get the two angles. One is a smaller angle, one is bigger angle. So you have to pick the smaller one, and that is the angle between two vectors, theta. So I am assuming here we having a two vector and angle between that two vector is theta. Now how you will add? Look at this. If this one is the A vector and this one is the B vector, the resultant vector I am getting here is a C. Sorry student. Better I am writing this with the R. Resultant vector here R you will get. Addition of this two vector, look at this. You will get this R vector. The angle between A and B is, I assume that's the theta here. So it's a theta. Now student, one more thing, this is the property of vector. You having liberty, you can move a vector in their plane without changing their direction. What is the meaning of this? This one is the A vector. I am assuming it's a vector. So you can move this vector anywhere in the plane without changing the direction. Look at this. I am moving here, but I am not changing the direction. So this is the B vector. It means we can move it here. So here you will get, you can move this B vector. Okay student. So now What effective diagram you are getting? This one is the A vector. So I am just writing magnitude here. Okay, first I am writing with the direction. A vector, and this one is the B vector, and here this is the resultant vector. Look at this, student. It's looking like parallelogram. It's looking like triangle. Okay. So using one concept, I am going to explain it or derive a formula for adding two vector. Okay. How to add two vector? It's very simple. Now, student, look at this. This angle is given theta. It means this angle is also theta. Now you can take the component. This will be bx, and this will be this one will be by. Bx will be what? You know how to take the component. If you will take the component of this b vector along x-axis, it's a b cos theta, and here also you can write the b sin theta. Is it or not? Now look at this triangle. I am talking about this triangle. I am assuming this is the alpha angle. Okay. So here we are getting a right angle triangle. In this right angle triangle, this one is the by and it's a b sin theta. I am just writing magnitude here. It's written here everything in vector form. But here I am writing it's along the x-axis. But here I am writing, you can write the I cap or j cap also. It's okay. So but here I am going to write just a magnitude. So this one will be a plus bx. So it's a plus b cos theta, and we have to find this resultant r, the magnitude right now. Look at this, how you will get this. Now apply the 10th class concept, 9th 10th class concept. If it is a right angle triangle and you want to find this hypotenuse, which theorem you will use? Pythagoras theorem. Simple. Look at this hypotenuse. Here perpendicular or base is given, you want hypotenuse. So simply here which theorem you will apply? The Pythagoras theorem. So I am applying here Pythagoras theorem. R square equal to what? by square plus a plus bx whole square. Is it or not? Okay. Now I am going to put here the value. Okay. The screen size is small. So student, here r square equal to what you are getting? by square. By is what? B sin theta. So what we can write? B square sin square theta plus a is simple a plus bx is what? B square b square cos square theta plus 2ab cos theta. Which formula I am applying here? A plus bx whole square. So what you will get? The by square plus a square plus bx square plus 2abx, and I am putting the value of by or bx here, and you will get this one. Now student, here r equal to what? Root under, I am taking a square this side. Now b square is common. What you will get? Sin square theta plus cos square theta plus 2ab cos theta. Is it or not? So here you will get the 2ab cos theta. Now we all know the sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1. So what we can write? R equal to root under a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. This is the formula of magnitude of if you will add two vector. The resultant formula. This is the resultant magnitude of if you are adding two vectors a and b, then you will get this one. There, this one is the a. This formula is very important, student. Okay. Now you also understand the derivation. Now, tell me, student, if I am writing the 10 alpha. I assumed here alpha, this one is the alpha. So alpha equal to what? Tan theta equal to perpendicular by base. Perpendicular is what here? B sin theta. Look at this triangle. B sin theta divided by base is what? A plus B cos theta. So if anybody is telling you find the alpha angle, what you can write? It's a tan inverse B sin theta divided by A plus B cos theta. Simple. Okay student. So this one is the formula for finding the angle of resultant from horizontal axis. Okay students, now for today I am binding this video. So in next lecture, in second lecture, what I am going to discuss, few questions based on this addition of two vector, okay, and then after we will discuss the multiplication. There is a two type of multiplication, dot product and cross product, we will discuss there, okay. Then after discussing that, we will start the fundamental and derived quantity. Okay student, so have a good time, bye.